Well, thank you very much. And also thank you, Tom, for giving the words.
Thank you.
Yes, of course, it's important to appreciate education, as it for students really means like a good foundation to start a career life and get successful in the rest of your life. But from my experience when starting as a student, I did not really appreciate how much it means to get help in this whole thing. I mean, you're not alone. And of course, we have great teachers like Heidi, for example, to go that extra step to help you through this whole journey of learning a lot. And yeah, maybe thanks to them, we'll all get successful later. So Heidi, congratulations on winning the Educational Award.
Thank you.
First of all, how do you prepare all of your education to truly help the students?
Okay, that's a very big question. The obvious answer that I think most of our audience knows is you always start from the learning goals. So what do the students really need to learn? And then you ask yourself, what do they already know? On what basis am I building my education? But to give a little bit more of a personal answer, I always start from a place of where is my own excitement, my own passion, my own interest. And I try to reach that when preparing for an educational event. Because if I cannot convey that this is interesting and important and relevant, if I don't have passion, how will the students ever get engaged? How will they recognize that, yeah, maybe I should pay attention? And when I was a student, I really didn't like seeing teachers who were sort of bored or disengaged and who looked like the last thing on earth I want to be doing is teaching here. So they are kind of serving as adverse role models in the back of my mind. And of course, I also had a lot of inspiring teachers and inspiring colleagues to learn from. Another thing that I want to say is that these days we're often, as teachers, very concerned of the attention span of students. How will they be able to follow for 90 minutes without mobile phones or social media? And sometimes the answer we go for is, let's put all sorts of technological toys and polls and these sort of interactional activities into the lecture. But then again, thinking back at my own university years, social media didn't really exist. Smartphones didn't exist. We were not addicted, but we also didn't have those tools. But inspiring lectures did exist. Inspiring professors have always existed, and teachers. So I think my preparation trick is to start from the passion and from the caring and go to that place of emotion. Why do I want to be here in the first place, and why should the students pay attention?
Yeah, I think you did quite a good job on that, because actually the judges from the UTEA finale also agreed on you that the way that you approached the audience with your genuine interest also really helped them to pay attention to the rest of the lecture that you gave. So good job on that.
Thanks.
On top of that, I understood that you're quite a new lecturer here in general. Like,
yes, that's correct.
How much experience do we have here?
So I started half-time in November 2021. So relatively new, yes.
All right. So how do you experience this whole new career switch as a teacher? Does it feel rewarding in any way?
Yes. So before I became an assistant professor, I was a clinical psychologist, actually, in my country of origin, Finland, for 10 years. And that was rewarding. But being in this position is 10 times more rewarding. It's an interesting double position that you have as a professor, because you have your researcher identity, but you have your teacher identity. And they really go hand in hand. And that's really important for us to acknowledge, that at the university, there is no good teaching without good research. There is no good research without good teaching. So they're very entangled, and that is extremely rewarding. And then, of course, at the personal level, what is rewarding is being part of these journeys where students learn something so much more than content. They learn things like they can tackle challenges that they never thought they could tackle. Master's thesis can be a good example, or a bachelor's thesis. So I love being part of this journey where students learn life skills. It's not a learning for university, it's about learning for life. Learning things like, I can do things I never dreamt that I could do. And being sort of a coach on that journey is extremely rewarding. And I think that I'm speaking for the fantastic community of colleagues that I have in the audience.
Yeah, it's good to hear that you want to be yeah. Good that you can be such a great inspiration, not only to teachers, but also to students, to everyone, really. No. But also, you briefly mentioned you are a Finnish
Yes.
teacher. So you're also quite new to the university and the international community here. How have your experiences been so far with joining them?
I can only say it's been so smooth and effortless joining the international community, and I can only hope that it stays that way in the future for other international colleagues joining the university. So I've always felt welcome. I've always felt at home here. And we have a rich community of 200 and plus nationalities in teaching staff and in students. And I think that's a resource we need to cultivate. It's not just a buzzword, internationalism. It really brings educational benefits, research benefits. It inspires us to learn to think differently because we interact with people from different cultures. So I think it's an elementary benefit and a gift that I would really like to see maintained and facilitated also in the future.
Yes, that's a very good vision. My last question for you to close it off. Of course, I imagine you're going to keep teaching for quite a bit in the future. Do you have a vision on any issues or arising problems that may happen in the future of education?
Well, I think I'm giving a kind of boring answer, but at the same time, I have to also speak for a lot of colleagues and kind of give a voice to discussions that we've been having about things like ChatGPT, artificial intelligence. There's a lot of conversation going on if these are compromising good quality theses, if ChatGPT will, to some extent, replace teachers, and these kind of worries, possibilities, potentials, a lot of discussion going on. I don't think ChatGPT or AI will replace teachers because, as I just talked about passion, I think robots are not that good at delivering human passion spontaneously. Maybe they can do something else for us. So just to give a short answer, but I want to hear from you as well. What do you think?
Yeah, I too agree on the educational part that it's important to take into account where technology is going, like especially recently with artificial intelligence making a rise. But I think it's also important to consider the personal growth that also belongs to, studying at the university. Because, of course, for most of us, it's also the start of your adulthood when you're going outside of your parents' house, going to a new place. It's also the perfect place to start your own growth, like think of who you are, who you want to be later, what you want to do. And it's a great place to try different things, like make new friends, join an association, work together with people on a not educational level. I did that a lot in my student times, and I've experienced a lot of personal growth that way. Like, otherwise I would not be standing here right now, to be honest. And I wish that in the future we can keep on giving students to grow on that part as well, not just inside of education. Especially after the corona pandemic, I hope that students are willing to pick this up again and really develop themselves, which will always be helpful for them in the future. Yes.
Thank you.
So those were my questions. Again, Heidi, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now I'll give the word back to Tom, along with this beautiful check.
It's up to you to hand it over.
Congratulations again.
Thank you so much.
And a check of 25,000 euros.
Thank you.